my bouts with sin, and christened are the pangs in here that round about and make it clear that angered is my checkered past, revolving round my life at last, not fast enough to settle in, enough settling in. Okay, if these doubts unite with these dreams, I might say, wish I had your eyes now, wish I had your face now, wish I had your ways now. Okay, wish I had your dreams now, wish I had your dreams now, wish I had your dreams now. Most of all, baby, give me a dream. I walk 7 moods, 'cause I've got to. I wanna talk through gates because I need to. And the skies you see, well, they're not clear to me. I'm only here because I have to. Remember who I am. There will come a time, there will come a day when things will seem alright, we'll be okay, when the best faces face remorse. And yes, I'm talking you, of course, when your question isn't how, where, and your answer isn't now, but there. Hey man, the world is a little bit colder now, me, I'm a little bit older now, my face, it seems to be holding now, right beneath my gaze. If these doubts unite with these dreams, well, I might say, wish I had your eyes now, wish I had your face now, wish I had your words now, wish I had your ways now, wish I had your life now, wish I had your love now, wish I had your dreams. You most of all, baby, give me a dream. Baby, give me your eyes, give me your face, and let me hear you, and let me hear you sing out. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la, yeah. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la, oh yeah. And I wish I had your eyes, and I wish I had your face, wish I had your ways. All right, and I wish I had your eyes, and I wish I had your eyes, and I wish I had your eyes. Na na na, oh yeah. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la, yeah. Sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la, sha-la,
Oh, yes, indeed. Wow. Paul Ruderman with Wish, and Paul is going to do the Jersey's Talking Sprint now and come over and sit down and have a little chat with me. Well, I'm worried about that person who's wandering around with no eyes and no face and no nothing, because you got them all now.
Thank you.
But Wishing will make, that's a terrific song.
Thank you very much.
You write, are you a songwriter who sings or a singer who writes his own songs?
There's no doubt about it. I am definitely a songwriter who became a singer. Because I used to have a terrible voice, I'll be quite honest with you. I mean, back in high school and college, I mean, my friends would, you know, let me play along because, you know, I had a lot of energy and, you know,
You
it
would
was
scare
fun.
the children and cats, right?
Yes, absolutely. You wouldn't, yeah. I a songwriter first.
So you worked on so you could sing your own material?
Absolutely. Well, I was singing other people's material. I was a cover artist at first. I was doing Don McLean's American Pie and taking requests, Beatles and stuff. And I got bored playing other people's stuff, and I just started writing. I wanted to play my own songs, and I started writing, even though I couldn't sing. I could play a little bit, and I could write. I had a way with words. I used to love it. When I was a kid, I would just write.
Well, there's another guy around who you sound a little bit like, who writes a lot of good stuff, named Bob Dylan.
I've heard of him before.
Yeah. Was he a big influence of yours?
Well, Bob Dylan is right up there. He's the number one influence for me. I mean, he, you know, I was into music before that. I grew up kind of listening to Paul Simon, Billy Joel, that kind of stuff. But the moment I discovered Dylan, and you know, it was 20 years after Dylan had been discovered, is when I kind of turned on to his songs. And there was one song, "It's All Right Ma, I'm Only Bleeding," which that catapulted me up to a level where I realized, oh my God, there's something going on here, and I'm connecting with it, and I need to be writing songs.
Well, you just mentioned a couple of guys, along with Bob Dylan. It's a category, American troubadours.
Sure.
And it's a wonderful category that seems to have faded away a little bit of late. Are you swimming against the tide at this point in time?
I'll tell you, am I swimming against the tide?
But Paul Simon and Billy Joel and Dylan, they wrote songs that said something.
They did. And right now, am I swimming against the tide? The tide now is the teen pop, you know, sensation of the Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. So that's what's popular. But you know, as well as I do, that comes and goes. Yeah. And what always stays is a good singer-songwriter. And it comes in phase. I mean,
Neil Diamond, another one. I mean, you know, there have been a lot of them.
There have been a lot. You know, ironically, I actually met James Taylor just by chance. He was one of my heroes of all time a week ago in an ice cream store, like 10 o'clock in the Berkshires up in Massachusetts. And he's one of my heroes. I mean, like Bob Dylan, and then there's James Taylor. Yeah. And it's just me and him and a couple other people in the ice cream store, and I started talking to him. And
did you tell him you were a performer as well and a
well,
writer?
What started out as me saying, James, Mr. Taylor, I said, Mr. Taylor, I have to introduce myself.
Hey, big guy, right.
I have to introduce myself to you. I'm also a musician. And as soon as I said that, he kind of stopped licking his cone, and he looked at me and he said, what do you play? And I said, acoustic guitar. He said, what do you do? I said, I'm a singer-songwriter. And right then, we just started, what went from a guy going up to one of his heroes turned into about a 5 or 6 minute artist-to-artist conversation, which he was so interested in my record, which I had a copy of, fortunately, an advanced copy of. I handed it to him, and he was so interested in it. He didn't want to hear about what a hero he is of mine or how much of an influence he is. He was asking me question after question after question. It was almost like he's been asked that so many times, he just wanted to talk. It was very interesting.
Sounds like you had a good time. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to wind him up again, and they'll tell us another story when we come back. Don't go away.
Well, I got sunshine in my pocket, and I got moonshine. The things I have are all made out of clay. You know, when the river swells, the mind expands, and I guess that's just as well. 'Cause the river is not mine, not as far as I can tell. Yeah, yeah, and the world begins to
Okay, you're listening for just a moment, as I am, to Paul Ruderman, but Paul will sing a whole song for us in just a moment from his new CD, Wish. You went to Tufts. Is that a college or a university?
Tufts University. There was cultural diversity at Tufts University.
There was, really? Now, I heard that you got in to Tufts University by writing a song.
Yes, I mean,
instead of
a
out a
college
regular
essay.
or a college essay, or
the thing was, I had okay grades, you know, but I kind of felt like I needed to do something a little special to get in, and I really wanted to go to Tufts. And it was the first song I ever wrote. I was in 12th grade, graduating high school, and I'm like, and I really want to go to Tufts, so I started writing this song called Tufts or Bust. That was it, either Tufts or I didn't want to go to school. And that's where cultural diversity at Tufts University comes into play. So I wrote the song. Instead of my college essay, I sent that in, not knowing what was going to happen.
On a tape?
On a cassette tape.
Okay.
Yep, a cassette tape with my application, sent it in. I called back 2 months later just to find out the status of my application. And this woman goes on the phone. She says, "You're Paul Ruderman?" I said, "Yeah." "It's Paul Ruderman." "Oh, tell me love his song." She goes, "We love your song. Everybody listen to your song. I cannot tell you if you're going to get into school yet, but
we did like your song."
Yeah, we really like your song. And she whispered, "I think you're going to get in." So, you know.
Did you perform a lot in that area?
Yeah, I
mean,
played.
while you were in school?
I mean, as you know, there's about 120 colleges in the area. I played Harvard Square all the time, the little coffee houses there, Club Passim, very popular little club. I played Boston. I played, honestly, even just at Tufts alone, I played, I mean, every day I was playing, you know, and it was the kind of situation where when you're in college, everybody wants to hear, you know, musicians. That's what kids go out at night, they want to hear music. And that's when I really started writing songs.
You know, we were talking about troubadours. Another troubadour we did not mention was John Cougar Mellencamp, and you opened for him?
Yes.
Now, what was that like? Was he another hero of yours? He should be.
John Mellencamp, I loved his music.
Yeah.
I would not put him on the level as far as an influence of Bob Dylan or James Taylor, but as someone whose music I absolutely loved, yes. And when I got the call from the woman who books the Mercury Lounge in New York. Now, he was playing Madison Square Garden the next night, but he decided last minute, I want to play a really small club the night before to warm up.
Just get his chops going, yeah.
Yeah. So the woman who books the club, who didn't like me originally, decides I'm the right one. She calls me up the day before and says, Paul, how'd you like to open for John Mellencamp tomorrow night? I thought she was just joking around. I said, no, I want just you acoustic, you know, before him. He doesn't want a band on stage for him, just one guy. I said, I'm there. I opened for John. Now, I would have liked to see, I met him and we had a nice drink and everything, like I talked to James Taylor. He comes out of his limo right before his set, right to the stage, smoking cigarettes on the side of the stage, finishes his set, back to the limo.
John Mellencamp has left the building, right?
Exactly.
Did you hang around and watch his show?
Oh, of course. I mean, and the next night I was invited by his manager to Madison Square Garden, and I met Paul O'Neill, one of the Yankees. I met him at the concert, and the first night at Mercury Lounge, I met him. He comes up to me, I really love your show. I'm here to see John Mellencamp, but I loved your show. I gave him a CD. The guy who makes $6 million a year says, can I buy this?
You're giving him a CD?
He says, can I buy this? I said, no, just keep it, Paul. Next night at Madison Square Garden, I go there to backstage because I had passes. Who calls me over but Paul O'Neill? Says, Paul. I look up. Paul O'Neill's calling me over, you know, so I went over, I talked to him. He said, I listened to your CD in my car today. It was absolutely fantastic. Good luck, you know. He was right in the middle of the World Series,
You're off and running.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like to think
Things are going good.
Things are good right now.
Now,
I just
the CD
released
was released just yesterday, so
yesterday.
You don't know yet how it's doing.
Well, I like to think it's doing well so far.
So far, it's doing well, right?
No problems yet.
No problems yet.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you don't know how many that they've sold yet.
No, I don't know. I mean,
you've given too many. You've already given 2 away on this show.
That's right.
One to James Taylor and one to Paul O'Neill.
Don't tell my record label that.
I won't tell him that, no. I would have taken the money from Paul O'Neill. He can afford it.
I know. I wanted to make a friend.
What are you going to do for us next?
I'm going to play a song for you that I wrote back in 1993 when there was a big fire on CNN and it's down in the southwestern part of Texas. Madman In Waco is the name of the song, and it was the kind of thing that enraptured everybody. And I sat there and watched it for hours, and then I hit mute on the TV, but kept the screen on, and I just wrote for probably 10 hours straight. I wrote 72 verses, and the reason I know that is, I counted them up at the end, and I kept them. I've scintillated. I'm not going to sing 72 because you'd throw me off
We'll
the
be
show.
here until next Friday if you sing 72 verses.
But it was the kind of song that just invigorated me, kind of a topic that just invigorated me to want to write about. It's just such a fascinating story, and I blame everybody in the song, including myself.
Okay, you're going to go over there and blame everyone?
Sure, absolutely.
Paul, a pleasure talking to you, and
Lee, thank you very much
come back and visit
for having
with us
me on.
again real soon.
Absolutely.
Especially when the CD gets in the top 10.
You got it.
All right, now, here is Paul Ruderman, and the name of the song is, oh, by the way, you can see Paul Saturday, September 29th at 9 o'clock at the Bowery Ballroom in New York. 212-533-2111 is the phone number to call for information about that, or you can find out from Paul's website, www.ruderman.com. And you think O'Neill will show up? The Yankees are home.
I'm gonna invite him.
Okay, here we go. Madman In Waco.
Once upon a time, my friends, self-proclaimed Messiah, 79, his best friends, apocalyptically drowned. As a boy, retrieving prizes, he takes his highs and fantasizes, takes his lows, and he shuts them down, and he sends them very far from grace, far from grace. And is there any grace in this town? And it all comes down to the madman in Waco, and we hold burn down for the madman in Waco. Wake up now. Brainwashing all their lives, he told the men that it was God's plan that he sleep with their wives, such that the babies born possess the blood of Christ. Yeah, well, he's just another jaded man. He's groveling to God's command. He's handing down one full of eyes. Oh, any freak can become the master back if he's good. He can hide anything you lack. Wasn't Christ some sort of lumberjack before he spoke his mind? And when there is no grace, there is no grace, there is no grace in this town. And it all comes down to the madman in Waco. And we all burn down. Oh, the madman in Waco. Ah! Was there more to the picture than I saw? I saw the flames corrupting all the air up high. Jenny Reno, I miss the FBI and me, so I am more perturbed than I care to be. I swear I don't ever want to hear that there, but for the grace of God, go I. Go I. Oh yeah. Oh. Calm the kids, he calmed them down with promises. He threatened all, said, man, you know what? You better hearken to this. You will only entertain the thought that I'm your God. The FBI, they should have read his lips when he swore to God, he caused apocalypse. Well, has there ever been one clearer sign than this? Tell me how, tell me why, tell me where is the grace? I mean, where is the grace, boys? Tell me, is there any grace in this town? And it all comes down to the madman in Waco. And we all burn down. Oh, the madman in Waco. Yes, and we all burn down. Yes, and we all burn down. Yes, and we all burn down. Madman in Waco. Madman in Waco. Madman in Waco. In Pittsburgh and Houston and Edison and Dallas and Idaho and everywhere that I go. And Waco and Waco and Waco and Waco and Waco and Waco. Yeah!
Paul Ruderman. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Lee, for
Madman
having me. This has
Waco.
been a
There
lot
are
of fun.
50 or 60 more verses of that song that we haven't heard yet. Paul, if you're going to make it in show business, you can't be so laid back. You got to come out of yourself a little bit. Now, big changes are coming up here at News 12 New Jersey, and we will let you in on them coming right up.